Y'all, what's up? It's your boy Nitro Hot Fire here. Welcome back to Nerd Torch TV, your spot for anime, comics, and gaming. And this is gonna be the spot on the internet where we're gonna be talking about lots of different forms of anime, comics, and gaming, and we're gonna be exploring deeper into what makes those things actually good. Today we're gonna be talking about Star Wars. Today we're gonna be talking about Star Wars Rogue One, and actually the fact that I think that is the best Star Wars movie ever created. Now this is gonna be going over one of my old videos that I created, which is why I hate Star Wars. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check it out. I'm gonna put it somewhere on the screen around here. Make sure you go check that out to see all the complaints that I had in the previous Star Wars movie, so all the way leading up to The Force Awakens, and then we'll talk about Rogue One now. So anyway, so as you guys know, the main complaints I had about Star Wars, the Star Wars franchise, or at least the movie series, the main complaint I had about it is the fact that I felt that we were cheated. We were cheated out of content. A lot of times we look at the Star Wars universe and we know what it could have been. So we look at the movies, and I feel like a lot of that biasness of the potential that Star Wars has kind of flooded into our opinions of the Star Wars movie series, which in my opinion, like I said before, they're just not really all that good. And the reason I say that is because like I said, for one, if you want to look at 4, 5, and 6, they were good for their time. And usually for me personally, when I say they are good for their time, I feel like if a movie is good for its time, it doesn't necessarily make it good. And the reason for that is because you have movies out there that will remain timeless, no matter what time period, what time frame, or you can watch it 30 years later and the movie is still as good as it once was. Now, one movie that pops up into mind I use for example for that is The Matrix. The Matrix will always and forevermore be good. You can watch it the day it came out, or you can watch it now for the first time, and it will still be as good as it was back in the day. And what really bothers me about that fact is because Star Wars Episode 1 came out at the exact same time as The Matrix 1. And The Matrix 1 was pretty much revolutionary in everything that they did to approach cinematography, to approach editing. Even the entire franchise was revolutionary with how they approached different things like that. And I felt like the Star Wars movies could have been better. They could have put that much more effort into their films, the same way that the people, the Wachowski brothers, the same way that they did. The Star Wars people Lucasfilms and everybody who helped out in that film. I felt like there could have been much more added to the franchise of Star Wars than what we actually got. One thing that I didn't talk about in the actual why I hate Star Wars video is the fact that Jedi aren't really interesting. And the reason I bring that fact up is because of what actually makes their character them. You know, Jedi, only thing we really know about Jedi is the fact that they're powerful. We don't really know much about them other than they're powerful and they're neutral. The reason that bothers me is because when you tell a story, when you have a story, you want to think about your character's motivation. Like if you're creating a story, if you're creating a manga, a comic, or a movie, you want to think about what is your character's motivation. The most interesting character in the Star Wars film series was Anakin. The reason for that being is because Anakin actually had a motivation. He had goals, he had aspirations, he had fears. You know, Jedi are actually so neutral, they don't have these things. Like, think about it like this. The Star Wars film series is a very active story. Everything that happens to the Jedi actually happens to the Jedi. Meaning, there's nothing that's happening in the films that are a result of their goals, aspirations, or any obstacles that are stopping them from doing what they're trying to do. They're actually just there. Does that make sense? So they're just kind of neutral. You know, if if nothing was attacking the Jedi on a constant basis in the Star Wars films, the best we will have from them is a full movie of them meditating. They'll probably just be sitting there meditating and focusing, and that's about it, you know. And it's so that bothers me, and the reason it works very, now see, this works very well if the stories were told as books. Not the fact that they're reactive characters. It works very well that a lot of what they were as people wasn't really shown. So, for example, one of my complaints was Master Yoda. Master Yoda was this bomb, amazing Jedi, but we didn't see much from him. The action scene that we did see from him was very short and lackluster, to say the least. It was very disappointing. But since it was all we had, you know, this is all we had to go on, and then we can make the excuse that Master Yoda's not in his prime, he's actually super old. So, you know, that is actually, you know, it's a fantasy world. Who cares if he's old? Make him do stuff. Like, it's a film. We want to see him do stuff. However, if this is a book, or we're all sitting around a campfire, we can tell these stories about how everybody used to be this, or how this used to be that. We don't have to actually visually see it, but since it's a movie, we have to visually see things. Now, to start on Star Wars Rogue One, before I go on too much of a tangent of why I thought what I thought, Star Wars Rogue One actually corrected a lot of these issues. For instance, the issue that the Jedi weren't very interesting people. They didn't have much as far as goals, dreams, and aspirations. Rogue One actually focused a lot of people who weren't Jedi, and those people aren't neutral, because to be a Jedi you have to be neutral. You have to be, you know, you have to basically, yeah, you have to be neutral. That's the best way I could put it. So you don't really have these fears, goals, dreams, desires, all these things. So removing all of those mofos out of the equation actually gave us a good Star Wars movie. That is sad to say this, but the best Star Wars film that was out there was not Jedi heavy at all. Think about that. So another complaint I had was the visuals. The visuals in the previous films, all the way leading up to Rogue One, was pretty bad. It wasn't bad as in horrible. It was not as good as it should have been. That's the best way I put it. It was not as good as it should have been, especially if you want to put them side by side with the Matrix. So the visuals in Rogue One was actually really, really good, especially the scene where there was a city that got destroyed, and there was debris flying everywhere, and they had to escape out of the debris, and they used the same cinema trick as they use, or editing trick that they use in the movie Inception, when they had the buildings, like not the building, more so the entire city was folding up into the air. Like, that was dope. Like, they actually had a scene like that where like the rubble was flying up like that, and it looked visually amazing. So that was a big plus. Really happy they did that. But you know, it didn't quite get it to where I wanted. Now, the reason I say that is because I go back to thinking about Avatar. In that movie, like, the visuals were stunning. Like, in that movie was literally the selling point of HD TVs when that movie came out. Like, everybody played that movie to show you how good the TV can show. Like, that should be the minimum. That should literally be the minimum of what we get in the Star Wars universe, in my opinion. However, that's never gonna happen because that takes lots and lots and lots of money. But until the process actually gets cheaper, I think that we will actually possibly be seeing more visually stunning things like that in the future. But I also feel like they don't want to take us to that level because of the fact that it will make fans who were such, you know, they were such fans of the old look of the films. I think they want to kind of gradually move towards that, if they're going to move towards higher graphics at all. in my opinion, I don't think they will move towards it. But I always think that innovation should drive the film process. It should drive the entire creative process. So if there's something that you can do to make the experience look that much better, then I definitely think that you should try to do it. So the main things in the story, the main thing that really was really dope about the story is that another thing. So we always know that Darth Vader is supposed to be super powerful, super amazing, and super awesome, right? So in all of time, we never actually get to see this mofo do anything except finally, in Rogue One, we get to see him massacre a whole heap of mofos, and it was beautiful, it was glorious, and it was epic. We finally got the Darth Vader scene that we deserved. So that was actually pretty good. And so I guess the long story short is Rogue One actually fixed all of the issues that I had in my I Hate Star Wars film. Well, it wasn't a film, it was more a commentary or video, but
here comes the money.
It actually fixed all those things, which really made me happy to see that we actually got the Star Wars film that we finally deserved. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought of Star Wars Rogue One. Let me know if this video was kind of helpful in describing what I liked about the film, and I kind of went on a little tangent at the beginning. You know, I gotta work on staying focused. You know, I'm a little long-winded. But anyway, guys, make sure you let me know what you guys thought of Star Wars Rogue One in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It's your boy Nitro Hotfire, and I'm out. Peace.
Message received.